Hi, my name is Keith Cooper from Northlight Images, and this is a very short video looking at the Epson ET8550 and what you should do about topping up inks and setting ink levels. The reason I mention this is because this is an ink tank printer, and when you set it up you fill the ink tanks here with bottles of ink. You'll find that when you do, and it runs through the initialization process, the level drops a bit, but fortunately there's a bit of ink left. So this is one about topping off with this ink that's left once you've finished doing your testing and you know that the printer works and everything like that. But also it's about setting the ink levels when the inks get a bit lower. So let's say when they're about 3/4 used up. Remember that the printer itself has no way of knowing what the levels of inks are in the tanks. There are no sensors or anything like that to actually detect it. With cartridges, the little chip on them, records how much ink has been used, how much is left, but still it's an estimate. There are no actual measurements of ink flow. The printer knows how much ink it's put through onto paper, it knows through how much it's put through into cleaning and other things. But even so, there's an impreciseness about that, and the printer cannot be sure of how much ink there is. Now, these printers absolutely should not be run dry. So once you get down to the bottom levels of this, you really ought to have a spare set of inks ready. It depends how much you use it. These inks are going to last a long while. But anyway, the simple process to start with, and this is from the control panel here, go to the maintenance setting. If you scroll down that, you'll find there are two settings. One is called fill ink, and that's where you're filling things up, which I'm going to show an example of here. I'm not going to do all of them. And the next one is ink level setting. Ink level setting is where you don't fill up any more ink. You actually tell the printer what the level of the ink is in a particular cartridge. It's not essential, but it does help refine things. Just topping the inks up and never letting the printer know. At a certain point, the printer is going to think, I'm almost out of ink, and it's going to throw warnings, whereas you've been topping it up happily and there's no problem. So anyway, I'm going to go just for the fill ink here. Goes through some instructions and details here, and I'm going to press on proceed, and it says examples of what to do here. I'm going to click on proceed, and it comes up with little buttons for each of the ink channels, and there are 6 ink channels in all. Now I'm going to fill the magenta ink. Now I've got about that much ink left from when I loaded the printer up. I'm going to open the magenta panel there, do this. Remember, these are keyed so that it's difficult to put the wrong ink into the wrong one here. I'm only going to say difficult because I'm sure there are people who will try and shoehorn in the wrong one, and then, well, if you do something like that, it really is your own fault. But they've gone to some length to make sure this is easy. It won't tip out, by the way, when you tip it up. So I can quite happily tip it up like that and just move that into place and pop that there. It does with this refilling. There we go. Just needed to slightly wobble it, and you can hear it just sort of glugging noise. And if I look down here, the level of the magenta ink has gone back up to full. It won't overflow or anything like that. So take that out. There we go. Seal this one off. Recycle, dispose of as you wish. So there we go, that's it done. I'm not going to go through all the others because you can just top them off as you see fit. You don't have to do this, but it's just, you know, it's tidiness. Anyway, I'm going to put this one down, and it just gently clicks into place. There we go, we've now topped it up. That one is there. So close that. Select all colours you refilled. Now it's detected that I've closed this. You can hear some whirring noises and things. So I'm just going to select magenta as a little tick mark appears on it, and just press this proceed button. Is the ink in M filled up to the upper line? Yes, it is. Yes. Ink level for M has been set. And click OK. And there we go. The printer does something in that way that printers do occasionally as they see fit. Well, whatever it did, it's done it. Now, the other one in ink level setting, once again, tells you what it is. Click on proceed, select the color to set. Now, let's take one of the ones that's not full at the moment. The cyan, that's one step down. Now, click on cyan and it'll tell me there's a little display here. And that allows me to step to the level where the ink is actually set. So, cyan ink is at that level. I've set that there. Complete. There we go. We've now set the ink level for cyan. There we go, and that's back to the maintenance. You know, this is not something you need to do regularly or anything like that, but it's something after you've set up your printer, top off the inks, just so you know there. And then when the inks get, let's say, 3/4 empty or down to the bottom mark there, just go to that ink level setting and make sure it's accurate, because it will help the printer know the ink levels, so it can warn you if you're close to trying to print with a tank on empty. And with printers like this, you don't want them to get empty because air bubbles will get into the system. It can cause damage to the print heads. Basically, it's not good for the printer. So anyway, very simple things, 2 things to do, just to keep your printer happy. Hope that's of help. Do note that I've got loads of videos about the 8550 and very similar 8500. See the notes for the links to that. I've also got lots of ICC profiles I created. Once again, see the review and the notes there. And those profiles are available on request if you drop me an email. I ask for no more than a coffee donation if you feel they're worth it. That's it. No other charges for them. They're free to use effectively. So thanks for watching and bye.